So how much should grappling be scored in MMA? Now, I'd categorize this into two types of different people because I don't want to get them mixed up. Let's take Khabib. He's my example. He's not who I'm talking about because every time he takes someone down, he's chasing a finish. Every time. And that's actually fun to watch. And it's obviously, you're winning if you're fighting like him. But he takes someone down and he's always advancing. So he's not who I'm talking about. That's good. Like, that's how you should do it. When you take someone down, you should chase finishes and chase advancements. I'm talking about the guys who, let me try to think of an example for this side too. I can't really think of like a specific example, but maybe like Usman earlier in his career before he started knocking people out, and like Colby, like just wrestlers who don't look for finishes when they take you down. They just kind of lay on you, maybe give you a couple little body punches. Those type of guys are what I'm talking about here. So I just want to make that clear when I ask the question of how much should grappling be scored in MMA. That's the type of grappling that I'm talking about, the nothing happening type of grappling. Bars. So when a nothing happening type of grappling guy takes a guy down, let's say they take them down for the whole round, lay on them and punch them a bit. That does nothing. Like, it's really not causing damage. Like those little tiny punches that just go on the stat sheet, but they don't do anything. If something like that happens, I mean, you kind of have to give it to the wrestler, but maybe the ref should stand them up a little quicker. Like if that's happening for like 2 or 3 minutes, like stand him up. Like that's nothing. So I get it. Like if you have to give it to him. I also think the judges should just give more draws for rounds. Like I don't know why that's not a thing. Like if nothing happened in the round, just give it a draw. Like you don't have to give it to someone. If it's like too close to score, why not tie it? I don't really get why they don't. I guess the UFC doesn't want a lot of draws, and I kind of get that. But if the fight's close, then why not just give it a draw? Like no one advances, They both lose or they both win, however you want to look at it. So yeah, that's something that's just kind of like annoying, but makes sense. Like the person that took him down did more in the fight, so I get it. Maybe that's the ref's job to kind of stand them up and get it going a little bit again. But yeah, but like situations where, let's say that it's, it starts on the feet, obviously. Let's say fighter B, who's not the wrestler guy, hits fighter A with 10 solid punches. Nothing crazy, but just solid. Maybe a little bit of visible damage, maybe a bit of blood, maybe some black eyes, whatever, bruises. Few strikes, right? Which that's, it's not a lot of damage, but they cause a little bit of damage. So let's say it's a minute and a half of that going on, striking on the feet. Fighter B having success. And then let's say fighter A, the wrestler, takes him down and does what I just said, like just lays on him and pitter patter to the body, to the head, whatever. In my opinion, fighter B should win that round. Now you have to really look and analyze every strike. Maybe fighter A, when he's on the ground, does hit him with some good strikes to the face or whatever, or to the body, or some elbows. Again, that's good. That's not even really what I'm talking about, but yeah, I mean, you got to look at the damage. You can't just look at the fact that the guy got taken down. Like we always see in these fights, like, oh, this guy's having success on the feet, and then the commentator's like, oh, he takes him down, he might win this round. And it's like, no, we got to stop looking at it like that. Like, yes, a takedown could shift the momentum and puts them in a better position, but don't freak out when they just get a takedown. Freak out if they're actually doing something with it and they change the way of the fight. Just taking someone down just isn't enough to sway the whole round. It shouldn't be, at least. So yeah, that's one thing. And also something kind of similar, like let's take it to another level. Let's say fighter B is having a lot of success on the feet. He's really hurting fighter A. He's making him bloody, he's damaging him, making him wobbly, close to knocking him out. And then boom, fighter A shoots a takedown, gets it. Again, don't freak out over that. Don't celebrate that happening. Again, it's a good start, but if he's taking him down just to get away from the feet and then he just lays there, again, that can't be his round at all. Like, not even close, right? So that's my main point here. There has to be damage in order for the takedown and the grappling to be significant. Now that's with wrestlers. Now, talking about guys that are more, jiu-jitsu type of guys, this is where it gets kind of like complicated. So if a jiu-jitsu guy, let's say he takes him down and he's got the body lock going and he's on his back or whatever. He's just, hugging him from behind, like the body lock, you know what I'm talking about, that position. Yeah, again, that one's tough. Like, that's a really good position, and I'm sure it's not very comfortable. I've personally never been in it, but it's probably not comfortable. Those legs around your waist probably hurts a little bit. So that's good, but again, like, you can't just sit in that, right? Like, if you're probably trying to get a choke if you're in that position. Like, you're probably trying to wrap your arm around his neck there, but trying to get the rear naked choke. But if it's not working, it's like, try something different. Like, throw some punches or try a different position. Like, if you're just in that position, like kind of like Aljo Peter Yan too. Remember that? Like, Aljo kind of just held him there, and even like Peter was hitting him with some strikes from his back. Like, he was just throwing the fist back there and hitting him in the face. And again, like, if we're looking at damage, like, that's more damage. It's just a little frustrating when they just kind of sit in that and nothing's happening. Like, if the guy on the bottom is defending it well, then maybe try something different, right? I get it, because like, you finally got that position and it's a hard position to get, so you want to keep it and stuff. But fights are short. Like, the rounds are 5 minutes, so do something. Like, try to do something to significantly win the round. Yeah, like, those pitter patter punches though are so frustrating to watch. It's like, it's just not doing anything. Like, you're just tapping him to the head, tapping him to the body. Like, man, it's just annoying. And yeah, the hugging from behind, not advancing, that's a little frustrating. Again, I'm not someone who hates on jiu-jitsu. I think jiu-jitsu is fun to watch when they're doing it. But yeah, the laying on top, the hugging from behind, just not advancing. If you're not advancing, you're not causing damage, you're not really doing much. And that's just what I'd like to see change. Put a little less value in just getting a certain position. Put more value in actually causing damage from that position. That's what really matters. I just don't like people being rewarded for stalling, and that's something that happens a lot. Because at the end of the day, especially like when you're on the rise too, like, a win's a win. A finish is way better, but unless you get a bonus, it doesn't really affect your pay. It doesn't really affect your career that much. Like, a win's a win. You're going to keep moving up. So you can win by stalling in the UFC. Like, it's how it is right now. You can stall, you can grab a guy, you can take him down, you can put your head in his chest and just hug him. And you can win a fight that way. A fight, the most violent thing. You can win that way. So yeah, I think some things that can help this, like I said, is the ref. If it's just a stalled position and nothing's really advancing, I'd like to see the ref step in a little more earlier. Not super early, because you do have to let the fight play out a little bit. Like, you can't just have constant action all the time. I get that. And that's not even what I want. Like, I like a fight to play out in a slow way sometimes. Like, let it develop. But if you see that's what a fighter's doing, like, they're just stalling on purpose, or they're hurt and they're just trying to hug them, don't reward them for that, right? That's what we can't do. And yeah, again, just with the judging, like, that's the main thing, is completely, fully put the emphasis on damage. That's what it is. That's the criteria. Put it on that. Don't score, don't reward people for just getting a takedown or just hugging them. They got to do something with it. That's the bottom line. So yeah, that's my thoughts. Hopefully this, gets improved at least a little bit. It's not horrible right now, but there's a lot of it that goes on. If you watch the cards, a lot of the fights end up like this, and it's just not good for the fans. It's not good for the sport. It's not good for anyone. So it can always be improved. So yeah, that's my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys would change more specifically. I'd like to hear that. How could we make this sport better in this way? So let me know.